What's up, guys? Welcome to Rinkside Olympic season, where we've got you covered all things figure skating over the next couple months as the best skaters in the world. They are eyeing those winter games, the Olympics coming in February in Italy. I'm Nick McCarvel. I'll be with you every week here over the Grand Prix series. More on that in just a second, where we will cover the action on the Grand Prix. And we've also got lots more on the show for you, including exclusive interviews every week. We're starting off the season with a bang. Why wouldn't we? We've got reigning world champion Alysa Liu will be right here with us later in the episode. Now, I mentioned the Grand Prix series. What is it? It is 6 of the biggest events in figure skating. You're going to see most of the top skaters at 2 of those events. They're trying to earn points for one of 6 coveted spots at the Grand Prix final, which is set for mid-December in Nagoya, Japan. Think of it as a teaser, a mini preview for the Olympics in December. That's the Grand Prix final in Nagoya. Now, that's the halfway point of the season. We turn the page to January 2026. You're going to see Olympic teams named, including for Team USA in St. Louis in mid-January. You also have international events like at the European Championships and 4 continents. That's all leading to February 6th. The Olympic figure skating team event kicks us off in Milan. We cannot wait. Now, Team USA, I mentioned St. Louis is going to be big. Man, they were big in Boston last year at the World Championships. 3 world champions across the 4 figure skating disciplines. Look at them. They're golden. Madison Chalk, Evan Bates, they won their 3rd in a row. Ilya Malinin, he won his 2nd. And Alysa Liu, I mentioned her. She's going to be with us later in the episode. She wowed the crowd with her first ever world title, the first for Team USA since Kimi Meisner in 2006. Okay, the Grand Prix series, as I mentioned, it is well and truly underway. The Grand Prix de France this past weekend in Angers, Ilya Malinin winning this title for the first time in his career, actually took out the 3-time and reigning champion, the home hope from France, Alysa Liu Interview. Look at that, a 40-point victory for Malinin. It was the Georgian Nick McCarvel who claimed the bronze medal. Let's get into the skating itself. Malinin, 7 quad jumps across his 2 programs. Here's a look at some of the short program from the American. The backflip, man, we saw that last season from Malinin. And he said that he knows he's got room for improvement. We're going to see him back on the Grand Prix in a couple weeks' time at Skate Canada. 5 quads across the free skate. We've seen 7 from him before, but this was a motivated and emotional Ilya Malinin towards the end of his free skate. Another backflip, and then look at that emotion at the end. Malinin picking up where he left off from last season, the world champ, going golden again on the global circuit. Let's hear from Ilya himself on the ice in Angers.
Hey everyone, we just finished Angers Grand Prix de France. We're so excited here. It's such an honor to be here. Say hello to the amazing crowd here. Hey everyone!
It was an amazing crowd. Look at that. In Angers, they had great crowds throughout the weekend. This city has been the host of Grand Prix de France for the last few years, bringing it for the gentlemen.
Stay tuned for more ISU events.
Ilya reminding you to watch all season long. Let's get into Alysa Liu Interview. This is his short program, and you can see the struggles to start. How about the painted on abs? Now, he was in 5th place after the short program. We go right into the free skate. Love that edit. And it was comeback for Alysa Liu Interview. He goes into the free skate in 5th, as I said, but is able to, he had a backflip too. He's able to get into that silver medal position. And you can see the team, they're happy with that 196 in the free. The former world medalist, 2024, a 2-time European champ. He claims the silver medal at his home Grand Prix. Now, I mentioned Nick McCarvel. He won the bronze medal, but let's take a look at the other American who was in action, Andrew Torgashev, who is the reigning silver medalist. So put him in your conversation to make the Olympics in February. This is a look at some of Andrew's short program where he was in 12th. He was in last place, including that struggle of a fall. There he is with Coach Brendan Fraser. But guess what? Just like Alysa Liu Interview, he had a beautiful comeback himself. He was 5th in the free skate with some great jumping, and we've seen some really sparkling moments from Torgashev. As I say, I do factor him into the American contingent, the conversation for those Olympics in February. Torgashev finishes in 6th place overall. Now, that's what happened in France on the leaderboard, but what did you guys think? We put it on the US figure skating social media, and your winner is Ilya Malinin. 85% of you voting for the American. We're gonna keep in touch with you all season long. We want your feedback. Make sure you're following US figure skating throughout. All right, all the men are going to be in action. All of the skaters in action next week. Cup of China. Here's your tune-in information for Peacock and NBC Sports. How about 2 former world medalists in Cha Jun-wan and Mikhail Shadorov? They're going to feature at Cup of China. Let's stay for now, though, in Angers, and let's get into the women's event where we saw huge scores across the top performers. Ami Nakai, the 17-year-old with a 2:27.08, beating out a former Olympic medalist and 3-time world champion in Kaori Sakamoto. But Japan going 1-2-3 here, guys. What a weekend for the Japanese women. Rian Sumiyoshi claims that bronze medal. Nothing for Isabeau Levito, though, the former world medalist herself, to be disappointed about. 2:12.71 for that 4th place. And Elise Lynn Gracie, the other American in action, she finishes in 8th. Let's focus in on Nakai, just 17, making her Grand Prix debut and doing this. Triple axel, 2 of them. This is the short program, the 17-year-old skating with a lightness and a joy. You can see it on the ice from her. This is the triple axel in the free skate, puts the hand down, but that didn't cost her much. You can see the red mark from her scores there in the technical panel in your upper left, but from there she just floated over the ice. And she said actually coming into this week, she wasn't thinking about the Olympics coming into this season. You should think about the Olympics now, Ami, because you've taken out Kaori Sakamoto, the 3-time world champ. Great emotions here on the kiss and cry. Meme that, guys. Make it go viral. The 17-year-old is a former world junior medalist, but she is really just making a name for herself out here on the Grand Prix. Let's get into her elder stateswoman, the 25-year-old Sakamoto. She is both a technical stronghold, and she also skates with some absolutely beautiful choreography. The double axel there from Sakamoto, who also doesn't have anything too much to be disappointed about from this weekend. Here's the free skate. This is the Edith Piaf. Look at the beautiful costuming. The packaging is always so amazing from Sakamoto. It is her first time losing at a Grand Prix since 2022. The Grand Prix series, that is, not the final. But Sakamoto has to feel good with that 2:24. There she is, the 3-time world champ, Olympic bronze medalist. She said that this is her last season ever. What's Sakamoto going to give us come February at the Olympics? Can't wait to see. Now, Isabeau Levito did finish off the podium, but she had a strong showing throughout the weekend. She had a foot injury last year, missed a huge chunk of the season, including the US Championships, but she was able to put in 2 strong performances. Now, did have some struggles in the opening. Here's the free skate. She had a mistake on her triple flip, triple toe, barely stayed upright on that in the free skate, but then was able to bounce back after that, showing her mix of technical and artistry as she always has. You can see a little disappointment there from Isabeau. She's a perfectionist, but the 18-year-old, she said she's feeling fresh coming off of that injury-filled season last year. She finishes in 4th place there in Angers. Well, we are so pumped now to be joined by Alysa Liu. This is how we do things at Rinkside, a reigning world champion. Alysa, thanks for your time, first of all, and tell us, how are the nerves going? You're about to head to China for Cup of China, and I've heard that you're a last-minute packer. Is this true?
Yes, I am actually packing right now. I leave in probably an hour. I'm really excited. I love China, and my family's there, so I get to see a lot of them, reunite with my grandma. I haven't seen her for years, ever since she moved back. So yeah, I honestly, China, I'm ready for it.
No way. So your grandparents, you're going to actually see your grandma. That's amazing. Does that add to the comfort or to the nerves or both when you're performing in front of your family?
Um, oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, they're gonna watch me compete, which is really cool. I Some of them have actually watched me compete once before, but a lot of them haven't. So I'm excited for them to watch. Eating. It doesn't make me nervous. Like I feel like going to China is less for competition, more just to see my family.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about this Olympic season. Obviously, you've been through this before. I know that you took that time away, but how are the nerves and the expectations when you know you've got Milano sort of looming there in February?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I'm not nervous. I'm really excited for it, obviously. I just want to get like my program out there, whether that's my short program free skate or if I make Olympics in general, and then I get to do the exhibition. I want the exhibition program to be something good too. So I'm not really nervous. I'm really excited, but I really want to. I don't know, do good, obviously. I want to skate my best there and put out some cool programs that some people can hopefully get. And yeah, I mean, I don't think about it too much. Um, yeah, I just like can't think of it as something that's right here, right now. I don't have any sense of urgency.
Yeah, you're like really staying in the moment, which I love about you. Tell us about, world champion in Boston. What's been one of the coolest things that you've got to experience as a world champion in the last 7 months?
Um, hmm,
There's
I
just too many to
think
choose from.
there are some pretty good ones. I think for me, honestly, just going to like the beach with my siblings. Like, I don't know. I got to do a lot of cool things as world champion, but like nothing even comes close to spending time with my family.
Hmm. Yeah, how important is that for you to have that time away? I mean, you are big sister to your siblings. How important is it to get that time away and then you can go back into the rink and do the work that you need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I low key do that every day. I see my siblings all the time. Um, I don't know. I'm low key like really good at balancing it. I don't know. I mean, like I do work really hard. In my training and stuff. I don't put in as much time. I think like as other people do. I don't know. I just find myself having a lot of time to do other things. Um, but I think I make it that way. Yeah, I just feel like I skate like maybe 3 hours on the weekdays, four times a week, um, and then I skate like an hour on the other 2 days, and then I take like a day off on the other day. But like, yeah, I don't know. I do enough to like make myself feel good.
Yeah, you're maximizing the time on the ice, which I think is perfect. Tell us what's one mantra for Alysa Liu this Olympic season. What are you trying to like really breathe into your both life and your skating?
hmm I would say, I don't know, reach reach more people, have
Hmm.
more people see what I can do on the ice or what I can do off the ice. I don't know, just more reach in general.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alysa Liu, you got to get back to packing, and you guys can watch Alyssa this weekend on Peacock. The action, you can stay up late, you can get up early. It starts at 2:45 Eastern on Peacock. Alyssa, we're going to watch you. Everyone's going to watch you, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much.
Yes. Thank you.
It is, after all, an Olympic season, and we've seen plenty of comeback stories to track. One of them is Guillaume Cizeron, the reigning ice dance Olympic champion, pairing up with a new teammate in Laurence Fournier-Boudry, the Canadian turned French woman, and these two showed up in spades in front of home fans at Grand Prix de France, with Fournier-Boudry and Cizeron claiming the title by less than a point over Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson, the reigning world bronze medalist, also their training partners in Montreal. You can see Allison Reed and Salius Ambrulavicius. They take the bronze. On the American front, it was Eva Pate and Logan Bai who took 7th place. But let's get stuck into some of the brilliance from Laurence and Guillaume, who had to change their rhythm dance because of a technical problem. It's a 1990s theme for the rhythm this season for all the skaters. They had picked a program from 1989. So it's the debut for that program, and this is their beautiful The Whale free skate from the movie, free dance rather. This is to the Whale soundtrack, and a 1:33.02 for Fournier Boudry and Cizeron. Look at the reaction from Roman Hagenauer to that 1:33, the 4th highest ever free dance score. That launched them over Fear and Gibson. Here's some of their rhythm dance set to the Spice Girls, appropriately for the British duo. And look at the nods to the British and Scottish cultures. Lewis is a Scotsman himself. These two should feel really good about that silver medal finish. Obviously, disappointment not to get that gold medal, but they are the reigning bronze medalists, and they're going to try to factor themselves into an Olympic medal come February. Always two fan favorites. Here they are, the world bronze medalists, 3-time European champions. They're going to perform in front of a home crowd actually in Sheffield in Great Britain ahead of the Olympics. That is the European Championships in January. Those are your top 2 teams from ice dance. What about the top American team? Eva Pate and Logan Bai. How about the husband-wife duo? They got married mid last year. Always cool to know the backstories of these skaters. Sometimes you've got siblings who team up. You've got romantic partners. These two using some of that off-ice chemistry on the ice, and they're certainly hopeful. They were 8th at the U.S. Championships last year. They're hoping that a strong performance here to start the Grand Prix series can set them up to move forward. Let's go from ice dance to the pairs competition. I have to say too, Grand Prix de France, the quality was there, the drama was there as well. You had 2 world champion pairs teams going head to head. And how did it shake out? Well, let's find out. It was the Japanese team of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara who win by 21 points, almost easily over Diana Stellato and Maxime Deschamps, the Canadian team, 197.66. We'll talk you through some of the struggles for the Canadian duo, Maria Pavlova and Alexei Sviatchenko. They take 3rd. Katie McBeath and Daniil Parkman, the Americans, in 4th place. Now for Miura and Kihara, it was their first ever visit to Grand Prix de France. They are 2-time world champions. They won the world title just last year, and they showed some really strong skating. The Canadian-based Japanese duo, they've really set themselves apart from Stellato Dudek and Deschamps this weekend. Had a couple little mistakes. Their combination, the sequence that they were doing, here's some of the side-by-side jumps. They struggled earlier in the program. She singled the axle, but they were able to recover there. And how about this lift to finish? That's called drama for the Japanese. Teamed up a few years ago, and I mentioned they are 2-time world champions. They made history in Japan as the first Japanese team to win a world title. Now, the world champions from 2024 are Diana Stellato Dudek and Maxime Deschamps. They were here at Grand Prix de France as well, and they were showing off some of their absolutely awesome skating too. How about Deanna? 42 years young, guys. If you don't know her story, there's the backflip, doing some acrobatic things. Now, they had a scary moment in their free skate, went up for the triple twist and only did a single. You rarely see that. There's some frustrations for them in the kiss and cry after. There's also a point deduction for them on one of their combination spins. You can see the look on their face. Not really happy for Stellato Dudek and Deschamps, the former world champions. They were 5th at Worlds last year. They're going to try to rebound after that finish. I mean, still, silver medal. That's not too bad for the Canadians, but they are aiming for the Olympic podium, this team. Let's get to our third and final highlight clip from the pairs, and that's the top performing Americans, Katie McBeath and Daniil Parkman. They've only been a pair for the last couple of years, but they were silver medalists at the U.S. Championships last year, training in Southern California. Saw Brandon Frazier earlier with Andrew Torgashev. He, the former world champion Brandon Frazier, alongside Alexa Knierim, he was at the boards and really gave this team encouragement after their free skate, saying that this is where they're hoping to build off of from that season. We will see that pairs race for the U.S. Olympic team. Who's going to grab those 2 spots? We're going to find out. All right, we are well and truly into the Olympic figure skating season. And while some of you are fans for a lifetime, others of you, you're just getting into the sport, and we're here for you. Here's today's Skating 101.
Figure skating. It's one of the most beautiful and athletic sports at the Winter Olympics. But what's actually happening out there? There are 4 events: men's singles, women's singles, pairs, and ice dance. Singles focus on jumps and spins. Pairs add lifts and throws. Think gymnastics on ice. In ice dance, it's rhythm, footwork, and storytelling. Basically, ballroom dancing on skates. Each skater performs 2 routines, the short program and the free skate, combining technical moves with artistry. Points from both performances are combined for a total score where gold, silver, and bronze medals are decided. Jumps earn points for difficulty, spins and steps show control. And yes, judges score both the athleticism or technical element score and the artistry, known as components, where composition, presentation, and skating skills are graded. It's power, precision, and performance, all on ice. That's this week's Figure Skating 101. See you next week.
All right, the more you know, right? As we get closer to the Olympics, we're going to get you covered so that you feel like a figure skating expert. More information for you. Let's get back to Cup of China next week. Here's your TV tune-in times Peacock, overnight the coverage. And if you miss all of that, you've got an NBC Sports recap on Sunday. Alysa Liu, who we heard from, hopefully she's packed and ready to go. Amber Glenn will be there. Also Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. We're going to be here with you after Cup of China and all Grand Prix series long on Rinkside Olympic season. It's been such a pleasure to be with you here for our first episode. And for now, for the whole team, I'm Nick McCarvel, and I say farewell and see you next week.